Welcome to Senior Health and Happiness, where we believe that aging can be graceful, strong, and joyful. Let's take care of your health, one simple habit at a time. Now, I want you to imagine this. You're eating your usual breakfast. Maybe some whole grain toast, a boiled egg, and a glass of orange juice. It's the same routine you've had for years, and you've always believed it gives your body everything it needs. But lately you've been feeling a little more tired. Maybe your joints ache more than usual. Maybe your memory feels a little fuzzy. And you wonder, I'm eating right, so why don't I feel like myself? That's the question many of us face after 60, and the answer lies in something many people overlook: how our body changes, not just what we eat, but how we absorb it. 1. Why vitamins matter more after 60. As we age, our bodies go through quiet but important shifts. One of the most overlooked changes is in how our digestive system works. You see, our stomach produces less acid as we get older. That may not sound like a big deal, but stomach acid is essential for breaking down food and helping us absorb nutrients like vitamin B12, iron, and calcium. So even if you're eating well, your body may not be getting as much from your food as it used to. Let's take vitamin B12 as an example. This vitamin is crucial for nerve health, red blood cell production, and even mood. But after age 60, many people begin to absorb less of it, not because they're eating less, but because their stomach lining is producing less of something called intrinsic factor, which is needed to absorb B12 properly. So even if you're eating eggs, meat, or fortified cereals, your body might still be quietly slipping into deficiency. Another factor? Our metabolism slows down. That means we need fewer calories to maintain our weight, but we still need just as many or even more nutrients. This creates what doctors call a nutrient density gap. We might eat less food overall, but our body still needs high-quality fuel. That's where vitamins and supplements can play an important role, not as a replacement for food, but as a gentle support for your aging body. And there's more. Our skin, which used to be a natural vitamin D factory when we spent time in the sun, becomes less efficient at making that vitamin. Add in more time spent indoors, and you've got a recipe for widespread vitamin D deficiency, something that affects bone health, immune function, and even mood. So if you've ever felt like your energy has dipped, your bones feel more fragile, or you're catching colds more often, it may not be just age. It could be your body whispering that it needs a little extra help. That's where understanding why vitamins matter more after 60 becomes not just important, but empowering. Here's another example. Have you ever noticed that cuts take longer to heal, or bruises linger a bit longer? That could be linked to vitamin C and zinc levels. Both are vital for wound healing and immune function. And while many people still get these nutrients from food, absorption can be slower with age, especially if digestion has changed or you're taking certain medications. Speaking of medications, here's another reason vitamins matter more after 60: drug-nutrient interactions. Many older adults take several prescriptions, and some of those medications can quietly deplete vitamins or minerals over time. For example, long-term use of antacids can lower magnesium levels. Diuretics, or water pills, can flush out potassium and sodium, and metformin, a common diabetes medication, can reduce B12 levels. These depletions can build up slowly, leading to fatigue, muscle cramps, and other vague symptoms that are easy to dismiss as getting older. That's why many doctors now recommend that seniors regularly check their nutrient levels through simple blood work, especially for vitamin D, B12, and iron. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about understanding your body's unique needs and meeting them with gentle, supportive care. Let's also talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: chewing and digestion. As we age, some of us develop dental issues or trouble chewing certain foods. That can limit our intake of fresh fruits, vegetables, or lean proteins, which are all rich in essential vitamins. In cases like these, supplements can help fill the gap without requiring major changes to your diet. And here's the good news: you don't need a cabinet full of pills to thrive. You just need to understand which areas of your body may need a little boost and approach it with intention. Maybe it's a simple vitamin D supplement during winter months, or a low-dose B12 spray if your doctor finds you're running low. The key is personalization, not guesswork. I want to be very clear about something. Supplements should never replace a healthy diet. But when chosen wisely and with your doctor's guidance, they can enhance the benefits of the food you eat and help you feel more like yourself again. Stronger, steadier, and more vibrant. Think of it this way, just like a car that's been well maintained for decades may need a little more attention to keep running smoothly. Your body, with all its years of wisdom and resilience, may need a little tune-up in the form of vitamins. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of care. So, if you've been wondering whether vitamins really matter after 60, the answer is yes, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do, change. And with the right support, those changes don't have to feel like limitations. They can be part of a new, empowered chapter of your health journey. Stick with me, because in the next section, we'll dive into the essential vitamins you really need after 60, the ones that can make the biggest difference in how you feel, think, and move each day. You might be surprised by how much impact just a few small adjustments can make. 2. The essentials. Must-have vitamins for seniors. Now that we understand why vitamins matter more after 60, let's take a closer look at the ones that truly make a difference. I often get asked, "Doctor, if I only had to focus on a few vitamins, which ones should I really pay attention to?" That's a wonderful question, and the answer isn't about following the latest trends or buying expensive bottles. It's about knowing your body's changing needs and gently meeting them where they are. Let's start with one of the most important players, vitamin D. Vitamin D is sometimes called the sunshine vitamin, because our skin produces it naturally when exposed to sunlight. But here's the challenge. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at making it. Add in more time spent indoors, and even people who live in sunny states can become deficient. Vitamin D is essential for strong bones because it helps your body absorb calcium properly. But it's also crucial for your immune system, muscle strength, and even mood. Studies have shown that low vitamin D levels are linked with a higher risk of falls, fractures, and even depression in older adults. If you're wondering whether you need more vitamin D, a simple blood test can give you that answer. If your levels are low, your doctor may recommend a daily supplement, usually between 800 to 2,000 IU per day, depending on your needs. Be cautious with high-dose supplements unless prescribed, as too much vitamin D can affect your kidneys. Next on the list is vitamin B12. Now, this one is tricky, because many people don't realize they're low in it until symptoms begin. B12 plays a vital role in nerve function, red blood cell formation, and brain health. When levels drop, you might notice fatigue, memory trouble, numbness in the hands or feet, or even mood changes. As I mentioned earlier, our ability to absorb B12 decreases with age, especially for people who take acid-reducing medications or have digestive issues like atrophic gastritis. That's why it's often recommended for people over 60 to get their B12 levels checked every year or two, even if they feel fine. If your doctor finds that your B12 is low, they might suggest a sublingual supplement. That's one that dissolves under the tongue, or even an injection in more severe cases. The good news? Most people feel noticeably better after restoring their B12 levels. Energy comes back, thinking gets sharper. Even walking can feel more stable. Now let's talk about calcium. You probably already know that calcium is essential for strong bones and teeth. But did you know that after age 50, and especially after 60, bone loss accelerates? This is especially true for women after menopause, but men are also at risk. For osteoporosis, calcium works hand in hand with vitamin D to keep bones dense and less likely to fracture. Without enough calcium, your body will start to pull it from your bones to keep your heart and muscles working, and over time, that leads to weaker bones. For adults over 60, the recommended daily intake is around 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day. That might sound like a lot, but it can be met through food like milk, yogurt, leafy greens, and fortified cereals. If your diet is low in calcium, or if you have trouble digesting dairy, your doctor might suggest a supplement. Here's an important tip. Calcium carbonate needs to be taken with food to be absorbed well, while calcium citrate can be taken with or without food and is often easier on the stomach. So always read the label and talk to your doctor about which form is right for you. Next up, magnesium. Magnesium is often overlooked, but it plays a role in over 300 processes in your body, from keeping your heart rhythm steady, to helping your muscles relax, to supporting good sleep and digestion. Older adults are more likely to be low in magnesium, especially if they take diuretics, have diabetes, or drink a lot of coffee or alcohol. Symptoms of low magnesium can include cramps, insomnia, anxiety, constipation, and even irregular heartbeats. You can get magnesium from foods like nuts, seeds, legumes, and leafy greens. But if you're struggling with muscle cramps or poor sleep, a supplement like magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate can be a gentle addition, especially in the evening. It's calming and often helps with sleep quality too. Now, I know, this sounds like a lot, and you might be wondering, do I need to take all these every day? That depends on you, your diet, your health history, your current medications. That's why I always recommend starting with a conversation with your doctor or pharmacist. A simple set of blood tests can help identify any deficiencies, and from there, you can make thoughtful, safe choices. And remember, it's not just about adding pills. It's about looking at your whole lifestyle. Are you eating well? Are you staying active? Are you getting some sun safely? Are you managing stress? Vitamins are a support, not a solution on their own. They work best when paired with healthy habits. Another point worth mentioning, less is often more. You don't need megadoses. In fact, taking too much of certain vitamins, like vitamin A or iron, can be harmful. Your body knows what to do with the right amount. Your job is just to supply it in a balanced, thoughtful way. To summarize, here are the 4 must-have vitamins and minerals that most seniors benefit from focusing on. Vitamin D for bones, immunity, mood, vitamin B12 for nerves, energy, memory, calcium for bone strength and stability, magnesium for muscles, sleep, and calm. These are your foundation. They help your body function well, protect your independence, and make the most of the years ahead. And the best part? With guidance, they're safe, accessible, and incredibly effective. Coming up next, we'll take a closer look at multivitamins. Do you really need one, or are they just a safety net? Let's separate fact from fiction so you can make the best choice for your health and your wallet. 3. The truth about multivitamins. So, now that we've talked about the most essential vitamins for seniors, like vitamin D, B12, calcium, and magnesium, you might be wondering, wouldn't it just be easier to take a multivitamin and call it a day? It's a fair question. In fact, it's one I hear from patients all the time. Multivitamins are everywhere, from pharmacies to supermarkets, TV commercials to health blogs. They promise energy, immunity, vitality, and even better memory, all in one tiny tablet. But the truth is, while multivitamins can be helpful for some people, they're not a magic bullet. And in many cases, they're not even necessary. Let's break it down together. The first thing to understand is what a multivitamin actually is. It's a supplement that contains a combination of vitamins and sometimes minerals, usually in small or moderate amounts. The idea is to help fill in the gaps in your diet. That sounds good in theory, right? But here's the catch. Not all multivitamins are created equal. Some are formulated with thought and care, tailored for age groups, tested for purity, and designed to work well with the body. Others are mass-produced, poorly absorbed, or contain amounts that are far too low or even too high to be useful or safe. One of the biggest misconceptions is that more is better. But when it comes to vitamins, balance is better. For example, taking too much vitamin A, which is common in certain multivitamins, can actually increase the risk of bone fractures in older adults. Some formulas may contain iron, even though most men and postmenopausal women don't need extra iron unless they've been diagnosed with a deficiency. So the first lesson here is always check the label and look for age-appropriate formulations. If you're over 60, choose a multivitamin labeled for seniors or 50 plus. These tend to have lower iron and vitamin A and more of the nutrients that seniors actually need, like B12 and D, but even then, you need to be careful. A multivitamin may contain nutrients, but it may not contain them in forms your body can actually absorb well. For example, vitamin B12 in the form of cyanocobalamin is cheaper to produce but harder to absorb than methylcobalamin. The same goes for magnesium oxide, which is common in cheap supplements but not well absorbed, versus magnesium glycinate or citrate, which are gentler and more effective. Another thing to watch for is filler ingredients, artificial dyes added, sugar, or preservatives that aren't necessary and don't do your health any favors. So, do multivitamins work? The answer is, it depends. If your diet is unbalanced, maybe you're eating fewer fruits and vegetables than you used to, or you're on a restricted diet for a medical condition, a well-chosen multivitamin can help support your overall health. But if you already eat a relatively balanced diet and your blood tests show no major deficiencies, a multivitamin might not do much at all. In fact, large studies have shown mixed results. Some show modest benefits for reducing certain health risks. Others show no significant difference between people who take a daily multivitamin and those who don't. That doesn't mean they're useless, it just means they're not a guarantee. And that's really the heart of this conversation. Multivitamins should be a backup plan, not your main strategy. They should support your diet, not replace it. Let me give you an example from my own patients. A woman in her early 70s came to see me. She was taking a popular brand of multivitamins that she had seen on TV. She felt a little better at first, more energetic. But after a few months, she started having headaches, digestive discomfort, and couldn't sleep well. We ran some tests and found that her vitamin B6 levels were far too high. Why? Because her multivitamin had more than 3 times the recommended daily amount, and over time, that built up in her system. Another patient, a man in his late 60s, was taking 2 different supplements, a multivitamin and a brain booster, not realizing they both contained vitamin E. His total intake was well above the safe limit, and it was affecting his blood pressure medication. These are real stories, and they highlight the importance of knowing what you're putting in your body. If you decide to take a multivitamin, here are a few tips. First, look for third-party certification. In the U.S., dietary supplements aren't regulated like prescription drugs, so quality can vary. But some independent organizations, like USP, United States Pharmacopeia, NSF, or Consumer Lab test supplements for purity, strength, and absorption. If you see one of these seals on the label, that's a good sign. Second, stick with once-daily formulas, unless your doctor tells you otherwise. There's usually no need to take mega doses or time-release versions unless you have a specific deficiency. Third, talk to your doctor or pharmacist before starting, especially if you're on medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or blood thinners. Some supplements can change how those drugs work, and you want to avoid any surprises. And finally, don't forget about food. The best multivitamin is still a colorful plate, one that includes leafy greens, berries, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and proteins like fish or legumes. Real food gives you not only vitamins and minerals, but also antioxidants, fiber, and thousands of other beneficial compounds that no pill can fully replace. Think of a multivitamin like a safety net. It might help if you slip, but it's not a substitute for the tightrope you walk every day with your choices. So, is a multivitamin right for you? If your diet is limited, your appetite is low, or you're concerned about specific deficiencies, then yes, it might be worth considering. But choose wisely, go slow. And remember that more is not always better. In the next section, we're going to explore something even more personalized, specific supplements that can help with common senior concerns like joint pain, memory, stress, and sleep. These are the ones you've probably seen on store shelves, or heard friends talk about, but do they really work? Let's find out together. 4. Supplements that can support common senior concerns up until now. We've talked about vitamins that support overall health and how multivitamins might or might not be helpful. But what about those specific supplements you've heard about, the ones your friends mention over coffee, the ones you see advertised on TV with smiling seniors walking dogs, gardening, or dancing? Glucosamine for joints, fish oil for memory, melatonin for sleep. You might wonder, do these really work? Are they safe for me? Let's walk through this together, one concern at a time. Let's start with a big one. Joint pain. Many older adults live with some form of arthritis, stiffness, or aching knees. It's not just inconvenient, it affects your independence, your mobility, and even your mood. That's why joint supplements are among the most popular choices for seniors. One of the most common is glucosamine, often paired with chondroitin. These are natural compounds found in cartilage, and the idea is that they can help protect and rebuild joint tissue over time. The research on glucosamine is mixed. Some people swear by it, saying their knees feel less stiff and painful after a few weeks. Others notice little or no difference. But here's what we do know. Glucosamine sulfate, not hydrochloride, seems to work better, and results can take at least 2 to 3 months to show. If you decide to try it, look for glucosamine sulfate and be patient. It's not a painkiller, it's more like joint nutrition. Another joint-friendly supplement is turmeric, or more specifically, its active compound curcumin. Turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties, and some studies suggest it can reduce joint pain similar to low-dose ibuprofen without the stomach irritation. To get the best results, look for curcumin with black pepper extract, piperine, which helps your body absorb it better. Now, let's shift to another common concern, memory and focus. Forgetfulness is something many people worry about as they age. It can be frustrating and even a little frightening. You misplace your keys, you forget a name, you walk into a room and can't remember why. Sound familiar? While memory changes are a natural part of aging, there are supplements that may help support brain health, especially when paired with good sleep, regular exercise, and social engagement. One of the most well-researched is omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA and EPA, which are found in fish oil. These healthy fats are essential for brain structure and communication between brain cells. Some studies show that people who consume more omega-3 south have a lower risk of cognitive decline. If you don't eat fatty fish like salmon or sardines 2 or 3 times a week, a daily omega-3 supplement may be helpful. Look for one that contains at least 250 to 500 milligrams of DHA and EPA combined. And choose a brand that's third-party tested for purity. Fish oil can go rancid if it's low quality. Another brain-related supplement you might have heard of is ginkgo biloba. It's an herbal extract from a tree that's been used in traditional medicine for centuries. Some studies suggest it may improve blood flow to the brain and help with memory and focus. However, the effects are usually mild, and ginkgo can interact with blood thinners, so talk to your doctor before trying it. Next up, sleep and stress. 2 topics that often go hand in hand. Let's be honest, sleep gets more complicated as we get older. You may find yourself falling asleep later, waking up earlier, or tossing and turning in the middle of the night. And stress, whether it's about health, finances, or family, can make it even harder to rest. One of the gentlest supplements for sleep is melatonin, a hormone that your body naturally produces in response to darkness. As we age, melatonin production decreases, which can disrupt the sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin supplements can help signal your body that it's time to sleep. But more isn't better. A low dose of 0.3 to 1 milligram is often more effective than higher doses. Taking too much can actually backfire, making you groggy or disrupting your natural rhythm. Another great option for sleep and stress is magnesium glycinate. Unlike some forms of magnesium that can upset the stomach, glycinate is calming and gentle. It helps relax your muscles, reduce anxiety, and promote deep, restorative sleep. Many people find that taking magnesium about 30 to 60 minutes before bed helps them unwind without the side effects of sleeping pills. If you're looking for something herbal, Ashwagandha is a natural adaptogen that helps regulate stress hormones. It doesn't knock you out, but it may help your body feel less on edge. Again, it's best to use this under supervision if you're taking medications for thyroid, blood pressure, or anxiety. So far, we've covered supplements for joints, brain, sleep, and stress, but let's also touch on digestive health. As we age, digestion can slow down. You might feel more bloated, irregular, or sensitive to certain foods. In these cases, supplements like probiotics, which contain beneficial bacteria, may help support gut health. The gut isn't just about digestion, it also plays a role in immunity, mood, and even inflammation throughout the body. If you choose a probiotic, look for one with a variety of strains, such as Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium, and aim for at least 1030 billion CF. Use colony-forming units. Start slowly and give it a few weeks to notice changes. A quick word of caution here, more isn't always better. Taking too many different supplements, especially without knowing your exact needs, can be overwhelming for your liver and kidneys. It can also get expensive and make it harder to stick to a routine. That's why I always say, start with your biggest concern. Whether it's sleep, memory, joints, or digestion, pick one area to focus on. Try one supplement at a time. Give it a fair trial, usually at least 4 to 6 weeks. And most importantly, keep your doctor or pharmacist in the loop. Let me share a quick story. One of my patients, a man in his early 70s, came to me with complaints of stiff knees and poor sleep. He'd been taking 5 different supplements he found online all at once. He felt frustrated and honestly a little discouraged. We simplified things. We stopped everything and started fresh, just omega-3 south and magnesium glycinate based on his symptoms and labs. Within 2 months, his knees felt better and he was sleeping more deeply. He was calmer, more hopeful, and more consistent. That's the power of choosing smart, not more. To summarize, here are some of the most commonly used supplements for specific senior health concerns: joint pain, glucosamine sulfate, chondroitin, turmeric, curcumin plus black pepper, memory and brain support, omega-3 south, dye and EPA. Ginkgo biloba, sleep and stress, melatonin, low dose, magnesium glycinate, ashwagandha, digestive and immune support, probiotics with diverse strains. Always check the label. Start with trusted brands and take note of how you feel, because every body is different and what works for someone else might not work for you. In our next section, we'll dive deeper into something just as important: safety. Because while supplements can support your health, they can also interact with medications, cause side effects, or be harmful if misused. Let's talk about how to protect yourself while getting the most benefit. 5. What to watch out for: safety, side effects, and interactions. So far, we've talked about the most important vitamins after 60, when multivitamins make sense, and which supplements can help with things like joints, memory, sleep, and digestion. But here's the truth: even the most natural supplement isn't automatically safe. That's why in this section we're going to talk about something essential: safety. Because the goal of supplements is to support your health, not surprise it. Let's start with the big one: drug interactions. Many seniors take several prescription medications each day for blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, or other chronic conditions. And while supplements might seem harmless, some can interfere with how your medications work. For example, let's look at St. John's wort. It's an herbal remedy that some people use for mild depression. But what many people don't know is that St. John's wort can speed up the way your liver processes medications, making them less effective. That includes antidepressants, blood thinners, heart medications, and even chemotherapy drugs. Not ideal. Another example is ginkgo biloba, which we mentioned earlier, for brain support. While it may help with memory, it can also thin the blood, especially if taken with aspirin or warfarin. That raises your risk of bruising and bleeding, something to be very careful with, especially if you're planning surgery or have a fall. Risk? And then there's calcium supplements, which can interfere with how you absorb certain medications, including thyroid pills and some antibiotics. If you're taking both, they need to be spaced out by at least a few hours, or the medication may not work properly. The same goes for iron supplements. If you're taking a medication for Parkinson's disease, thyroid issues, or osteoporosis, iron can interfere with how those drugs are absorbed. Again, spacing and timing matter. That's why I always recommend keeping a list of everything you take, prescription drugs, over-the-counter medicines, supplements, and even herbal teas, and sharing that list with your doctor or pharmacist regularly. And here's something you might not expect. Some supplements can build up over time and become toxic. Take vitamin A, for instance. Too much of it, especially in supplement form, can lead to dizziness, nausea, liver damage, and over time, increased risk of fractures. That's why most senior multivitamins lower the amount of vitamin A, and why you should avoid taking extra unless your doctor tells you to. Vitamin E is another fat-soluble vitamin that can build up. In high doses, it may increase the risk of bleeding, particularly for those on anticoagulants. Even omega-3 south, which we often think of as purely healthy, can thin the blood when taken in high doses. If you're taking fish oil and also on a blood thinner, your doctor needs to know. Now let's talk about something that's often overlooked: quality control. In the United States, supplements are not regulated the same way prescription drugs are. That means the bottle you buy at the store isn't always guaranteed to contain what it says or in the amount it claims. Some supplements have been found to contain more, less, or none at all of the active ingredient. Others have been contaminated with heavy metals, pesticides, or even prescription drugs. So how can you protect yourself? Look for third-party testing. Seals like those from USPNSF or Consumer Lab. These organizations independently test supplements to make sure they're pure, safe, and labeled correctly. If you see one of these seals on the bottle, it's a sign that the product has met certain quality standards. Also, be cautious about supplements that promise dramatic results like erase all your pain, reverse aging, or boost your memory instantly. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Supplements should be gentle, steady, and supportive, not miraculous. And be very careful with supplements sold online, especially from unknown sellers or foreign countries. There are many wonderful products out there, but also a fair number of scams, contaminated items, and misleading labels. Another important safety point is over-supplementation, taking too many things at once. It's very common for people to pick up one supplement for joints, another for sleep, another for bones, another for energy, and suddenly they're taking 10 different capsules each morning, many with overlapping ingredients. This kind of stacking can overload the liver and kidneys, cause side effects, and make it hard to tell which supplement is actually helping and which might be causing problems. Here's a story I think you'll appreciate. One of my patients, a woman in her late 60s, came to me with fatigue, nausea, and a strange metallic taste in her mouth. She had started a high-potency multivitamin along with a separate vitamin B complex, plus magnesium, plus zinc. All of them contained vitamin B6, and when we ran her labs, her B6 levels were sky-high. The symptoms she had were classic signs of B6 toxicity. We stopped everything, gave her time to recover, then restarted just a basic supplement plan based on her actual needs, and within weeks, she was feeling more like herself again. The lesson here: keep it simple. Track your symptoms, listen to your body. So how do you make supplements a safe part of your health routine? Here are a few practical tips. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist before starting anything new, especially if you're on prescription medications. Avoid megadoses unless medically necessary. More isn't always better. Take supplements with food unless the label says otherwise. This helps reduce stomach upset and improves absorption. Introduce one supplement at a time. That way, if something doesn't sit well with you, you'll know exactly what the cause was. Write everything down. Keep a health journal or medication list that includes your supplements. Bring it to every appointment. And remember, just because something is natural doesn't mean it's harmless. Hemlock is natural, so is arsenic. What matters is how your body reacts to it and whether it supports your goals, not just someone else's experience. Let's also talk about timing. Some vitamins work better when taken at specific times. For example, calcium is best absorbed in smaller doses, around 500 to 600 milligrams at a time, and often better taken in the evening, especially for bone support. Magnesium tends to work well when taken before bed. It promotes relaxation. B vitamins, on the other hand, may be energizing, so taking them in the morning is usually best. Iron should be taken on an empty stomach, but it can cause stomach upset, so it's often taken with a light snack and always separate from calcium. Understanding these small details can go a long way toward making your supplements more effective and gentler on your system. Finally, keep in mind that your needs will change over time. What works for you this year may not be what you need next year. That's why routine check-ins with your doctor and occasional blood work are such powerful tools. They help you adjust your plan, spot problems early, and feel confident in what you're doing. To sum it up, here's what to watch out for. Interactions with medications, especially blood thinners, thyroid meds or blood pressure drugs, toxicity from fat-soluble vitamins like A, E, and sometimes B6 poor quality products with inconsistent ingredients or contaminants, taking too many supplements at once, leading to confusion or overload, believing unrealistic claims instead of trusting slow, steady improvements. Supplements can be an amazing part of your wellness journey, but they need to be respected, not rushed. In our final section, we'll bring everything together. You'll learn how to build a simple, personalized supplement plan that fits your needs, respects your body, and supports your health goals, one thoughtful step at a time. 6. Building a personalized plan that works for you. We've covered a lot together in this video. You now know why vitamins matter more after 60, which ones are essential, the pros and cons of multivitamins, how specific supplements may support joint health, brain function, sleep, and digestion, and how to stay safe while using them. But here's the thing. No supplement, no matter how effective, will make a difference if it's not the right one for you. That's why in this final content section, we're going to shift focus from what to take to how to build a supplement routine that truly supports your life, your health, and your future. Let's start with this idea. There's no one-size-fits-all formula for health after 60. Your needs are shaped by your lifestyle, your medical history, your diet, your goals, and your body's own unique rhythm. For example, someone who's mostly plant-based might need extra B12 and iron. Someone who avoids dairy may need more calcium and vitamin D. If you live in the north and spend winters indoors, you might benefit from vitamin D supplements year-round. But someone living in Arizona with a balanced diet may not need that at all. So the first step in building a personalized plan is to get curious about your own habits and health status. Start with a few simple questions. What does a typical day of eating look like for me? Do I eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins? Do I have any digestive issues that affect how I absorb nutrients? Am I taking any medications that might interfere with nutrient absorption? What symptoms am I noticing? Low energy, joint pain, brain fog, poor sleep? You don't need to write a research paper, just observe. Maybe even jot down notes for a few days. From there, the next step is to get some basic blood work done, ideally every 6 to 12 months. Ask your doctor to check your vitamin D, B12, iron levels, and any others based on your history. This gives you a snapshot of what's going on inside your body and helps you avoid guessing or taking unnecessary supplements. Here's a common mistake. People start taking everything at once: a multivitamin, turmeric, magnesium, fish oil, probiotics, hoping to feel better quickly. But this often leads to confusion, inconsistency, and even side effects. Instead, I encourage you to start slow. Choose 1 or 2 supplements that are most aligned with your goals. Give them a fair chance, usually 4 to 6 weeks. Notice how you feel. Are your joints less stiff? Is your sleep more restful? Do you have more energy or clarity? Once you understand what works and what doesn't, you can build your routine gradually and mindfully. Let's imagine an example. You're 68 years old, generally healthy, but have some knee stiffness in the morning and trouble falling asleep. Your diet is decent. You eat vegetables, some fish, and you take a daily walk. You also take medication for blood pressure. After talking with your doctor, you decide to start with 2 supplements, turmeric for joint comfort and magnesium glycinate for sleep. You take turmeric with breakfast and magnesium about an hour before bed. After 3 weeks, you notice your knees don't ache as much when you get out of bed, and you've been sleeping more deeply. So you stick with that plan and feel encouraged. That's a personalized plan in action. Not because it's complicated, but because it's yours. And remember, simplicity is strength. You don't need 10 bottles on your counter. In fact, too many can create confusion and overwhelm. Focus on quality over quantity. Choose trusted brands with clear labels and third-party testing, and avoid overlapping or unnecessary ingredients. Another key piece of your plan is timing and consistency. Try to take your supplements at the same time each day, ideally with meals unless directed otherwise. This helps your body absorb them better, and it makes it easier to remember. Some people use a pill organizer, others set a daily alarm. Others link it to a routine like brushing teeth or making morning tea. Whatever works for you, make it easy, automatic, and consistent. And while we're building your supplement routine, don't forget about the foundation: food, movement, sleep, and connection. Supplements are not shortcuts, they're enhancers. They work best when you're also eating a variety of colorful, whole foods, moving your body each day, even gentle walks or stretches, getting enough rest, and honoring your body's need. For recovery, staying socially connected, emotionally supported, and mentally engaged, all of these pieces work together. And when they do, something wonderful happens. You begin to feel more resilient, more in tune with yourself, more hopeful about your future. Let's talk briefly about reviewing and adjusting. Every few months, take a moment to reassess yourself. How do I feel physically and mentally? Are there new symptoms or improvements? Am I still taking the right supplements for where I am now? Is it time to reduce, stop, or swap anything? This reflection, even just once per season, helps you stay aligned with your needs. And it helps you avoid the trap of adding more and more supplements without stopping to ask if they're helping. It's also a great time to check expiration dates, clean out old bottles, and maybe share what you've learned with a friend or loved one. That act of sharing, "This helped me sleep better," or "This didn't do much for me," can be deeply encouraging to others who may be just starting their own journey. And finally, I want to touch on attitude, because how you think about your health affects how you feel. Some people take supplements with fear, afraid of aging, decline, or disease. But I invite you to think differently. Think of supplements as acts of care, as little reminders each day that your health matters, that your choices matter, that you're not powerless, you're participating. You're tending to your body the way you would tend to a garden, watering it, nourishing it, not rushing, not forcing, just supporting it gently, daily, and with love. So whether you take one supplement or a few, do it not out of fear, but from a place of respect and partnership with your body. This is your time. Your body has carried you through decades of living, of joy, heartbreak, growth, and grace. And now it's asking for a little extra attention, not as a burden, but as a blessing. And when you give it what it needs, nourishment, rest, care, it often gives back in quiet, beautiful ways, steadier energy, less pain, clearer thinking, better sleep, a sense of calm, a sense of trust. That's the kind of health we're building here, one simple, intentional habit at a time. Coming up next, I'll wrap everything together in a short but powerful message, a gentle reminder that aging is not about decline, but about becoming more deeply you. You've just taken a meaningful step toward understanding your health more deeply. Throughout this video, we explored the changing needs of your body after 60 and how simple, thoughtful supplementation can help you stay strong, energized, and clear-minded. We looked at why vitamins like D, B12, calcium, and magnesium become more important as we age. We uncovered the truth about multivitamins, when they help and when they might not. We explored targeted supplements that may support your joints, your memory, your sleep, and your digestion. We talked about the importance of safety, about watching out for interactions, overdosing, or low-quality products. And finally, we built a vision together, a vision of health that is personalized, steady, and rooted in care. A supplement plan that doesn't follow trends but follows you, your story, your needs, your pace. If there's one message I want you to carry with you, it's this: you are not too old to grow stronger. You are not too late to feel better. You are not powerless. Every small step you take, whether it's choosing a trusted supplement, asking your doctor a question, or simply becoming more aware of your body's signals, is a powerful act of self-respect. Aging isn't about watching the years go by. It's about learning how to live more fully within them. And your health, supported by knowledge, intention, and compassion, is a vital part of that. So take your time. Be gentle with yourself. Explore what works. Ask for support when you need it. And most of all, keep showing up for your own well-being. Thank you for spending your time with Senior Health and Happiness. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and most of all, stay kind to yourself. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone you care about. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one small habit you're adding to your daily routine? Your story might inspire someone else.